Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. Yes, and today we are being joined by Mabel Joseph, a mindset coach and a good friend who is certified in life and weight coaching. And I met Mabel, it's probably been 4 years ago at the Bariatric
Yeah.
Society retreat
Mm-hmm.
in San Diego, that first bariatric society retreat, and just kind of like clicked with her, fell in love with her and her ways. So at that, Mabel, I'm gonna kind of talk a little bit about your bio here real quickly, if that's
Yeah.
okay. And
Yes.
then I'm gonna kind of turn the stage over to you to kind of tell even more about yourself. So Mabel is a certified mindset coach, a 5 year weight loss surgery veteran, and just kind of has been dedicating her life to helping bariatric patients unlock their potential. She's the founder of Beyond the Sleeve Academy, where she helps people find food freedom, build confidence, and cultivate self love. And through transformative mindset work, Mabel also guides clients to overcome their weight battles and create lasting results. So, at that, I'm going to kind of turn the speaker over to you and kind of let you do a more detailed screen
Yes.
of what you do and how you help the people that you work with. And also, you have weight loss surgery.
Yes, I
So,
did.
tell us about that too as well.
Thank you for reading that. I really appreciate it. So yes, I had weight loss surgery. I've been overweight. Well, I was overweight all my life. And there was just a point where I just got tired and I needed support and I needed help. And when I found out about weight loss surgery, I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. And let's just because I was just tired. I was just tired of feeling so sluggish, tired of not liking how I felt in my clothes. And I knew I needed help. So I got the surgery. And in my surgery, I promised myself that I was going to figure this out and I was going to change me as a person. So I never have to worry about being overweight again. And I really got deep into personal development, got my own coach. And one day it clicked. I was like, I could do this for my people. And that's how the whole Beyond the Sleeve Academy started. And it's one of the things that makes me most happiest in my life right now.
Wonderful. So, how long tell us about when this all started? And
What the journey of thinking about getting the surgery?
Well, that too. That when you had surgery, and you may have already said that. And then also like when you became a coach.
Oh, well, I became a coach in 2019. I got certified as a certified weight and life coach. Um, my life coach really changed my life. And what she taught me, I was like, I can't believe people are not teaching this mindset work, like in general, right? And then once I got the surgery, it clicked, and then I totally understood why I was so overweight all those years. Um, Standing where I am now, I could see that the reason why I didn't lose the weight, and I was trying all the things, and I was always back to square one. It's because my mindset was never where it needed to be. And honestly, I didn't know how to work in my mindset. Like people just say it, but you really don't know how to work on your mindset. And this is why I love doing this presentation because it puts it in steps so that you're working on your mindset. And it's like the beginning of like, how can you work on your mindset in this journey?
Well, we don't realize how important it is because, you know, where our mind goes, where, and I say mind, meaning where your focus is,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about like on a moment to moment basis. We're talking about being present in like whether your mind is right here, right now, or whether it's from 5 years ago, or maybe it's in the future because you're worrying about something or you're planning something. Whatever that is, right now, it's being present because whether you're thinking about the past or you're thinking about the future, you're still in the present. So you're bringing it into that moment and you're creating. And so that is where your mindset is, your focus is, and where your perception is. So, like how you're perceiving your journey is going. So, your perception is really important too. Wouldn't you
Right.
say?
Yes. And your mindset will stop you from taking action, or it'll help you take action that you don't want to take. Like, so if you don't know what's going on in your brain, you will think that something is wrong with you, but it's really you just understanding what's going on in your brain. So you can shift it. And it's easier than what you think. It's not taught. And this is why I love doing what I love doing.
Well, and the other thing is guys, for those of you who are joining, and some people are saying that they're on their, they are wanting tips like on this topic. And I think really anybody who's had struggled with their weight in the past, it's a great topic to kind of think about. And Mabel's approach is very individualized. And if you're on this call, this is giving you hope, a hope of being able to know that you can do it because it is possible. It is
Yes.
possible. Okay, so let's get started because I think we got so much to dive into. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about what you're going to be talking about and what you're going to be diving into.
Okay. So I actually, let me start my slide, my little gift card. This workshop is for you if you are struggling with regain weight, if you don't know where to start, if you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated at the journey, if it feels hard, if you're self-sabotaging and you don't understand why, and if you stop believing. Because I'm going to just teach you 5 simple steps that you can do. And just if you do these 5 steps, it will show you exactly what you need to do and where you're at, and it'll just keep you focused on moving forward. I think a lot of the problem is that we get the surgery and then we're just thrown like, all right, figure it out, right? And then you have to figure out what to do first, what to do second. And this is step by step of what to do, what has worked for me, what has worked for my clients. And I just put it in a beautiful little equation to make it simpler for your brain to follow. And this is not the only way, but it's a way that's been working. So if it resonates with you, I want to offer you to just try it and see if it is something that you want to keep in your life. Okay, I'll continue. I
Yes,
know,
no,
I thought you were going to say
continue.
something. I'm sorry.
Well, I was like reading the comments. I think a lot of people are just kind of commenting where they are in their journey. Maybe fooding, maybe like Stacey says, I'm fighting food cravings, hunger, and slight weight gain. Um, Erica says, for her, she says the process is slower for some, as it was. She said for her, she's 11 months post-op, and Erica says she's 11 months post-op. Colleen
Mhm.
says 10 months post-op, and she's watching so she doesn't have any weight regain, still losing but slowing down. And because we're hitting the holidays right now, this episode is being filmed in December, right before Christmas time. And so it to me, I will just say to Mabel, it always helps me to feel more in control whenever I have a plan of some sort. It makes
Mhm.
me feel like I'm moving forward and not backwards. It makes me feel like I'm not stuck anymore because I have something to look forward to. So
Right.
grab a paper and pen, guys, because some of these things that she's telling you, you can actually start implementing today in this very moment while we're talking.
Okay, so let's go to step number 1, which is called reflection. Now, it's the most skipped part because it's a step that people think that is a waste of time. They want to automatically go to creating a plan and doing something, taking action. But you have to reflect on how you feel about the regain, how you feel about the stall. Like really center yourself and understand what are you feeling about what's going on in your journey. And I'll show you an example why this truly matters. But the way you do it is by not bullying yourself, staying open to what comes up in your mind and just feeling all the feelings that come. And I know with working with my clients and even myself, like in the beginning, like this sounds like a whole bunch of like the Lulu stuff, like because people don't like doing this, but this is what the mindset work is all about. So if you find some resistance in what I'm talking to you about right now, it might be a sign that you need to focus and pay attention because this is something that you might be skipping. Um, so I'll give you an example of why reflecting and knowing what you're thinking about your journey is so important. With my client Anna, I worked with Anna 2 years ago, and when we started working together, it was because she had regained weight and she didn't know how to lose the weight. And as we were working together, we found out that her main thought was, it's too late for me. I messed things up. And what she was feeling was defeated. And as she was trying to do her eating plan, her gym plan, her self-care plan routine, she was doing it from a place of feeling defeated, right? Now, we found that out in the coaching, but just imagine Anna just living her life thinking that something was wrong with her because she was trying to do all the things and it wasn't working. And it was because she felt defeated because of what she was thinking, right? And that's happening to us right now. Like, whether you're paying attention to it or not, there's things that you're thinking right now that is creating emotions and feelings that are fueling the actions that you are taking and the actions that you're not taking. So this is happening whether you're paying attention to it or not. And this is why reflecting on your thoughts, reflecting on your feelings is so important because it is navigating the results that you're getting. So when Anna was feeling defeated and trying to go about her journey, her results were inconsistent, right? And it felt hard. It felt hard for her to try to lose weight because of the energy that it was going, like the energy that she was producing as she was going to the gym, eating her, trying to be consistent in her plan, right? Because losing weight is easy, right? You're wondering, like, if it feels hard, it's because of how you're going about it. So that's why your thinking and your feelings are so important and cannot be skipped. So when we continue working together, Anna decided that she wants to think, I can figure this out. And what happened was with her regain, and what happened was is that she started to feel more optimistic. She started feeling more optimistic, and then her eating plan, her gym plan, her self-care routine just became easier because she started to feel more optimistic, and that actually drove her to be more consistent in her journey and giving her the results that she wanted. So this part cannot be skipped. And it's hard because sometimes we think things that we don't want to be thinking and we want to fight it. But I want to just offer you that your thinking is, it's like your friend. It's there to help you, to show you what is it that is going on with you. And all you need to do is figure out whether you want to keep it or if you want to let it go.
So Mabel, I'm going to just kind of add to, so what you're saying is like, let's say if you can find the feelings that bring your emotions down, to alternatively look at that, and then what on the alternative flip side would be the complete opposite of that. So like if it's shame, maybe feeling empowered. If it's guilt, the same, maybe feeling I can do this. Or maybe it's a fear of some sort that's popping up. So what is the opposite of fear? The fear is um
Bravery?
basically, yeah, bravery. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Yes, bravery. So like, would you say that's kind of like what you're talking about? It's like looking at what you don't want and what's causing you pain. Alternatively, what you do want and what is, so it changes your focus.
Yes. So your thinking creates your feelings. So all the thoughts that you're having create your feelings. And your feelings is what fuels your action. So if there's an action that you're taking or not taking that you want to evaluate, then you have to think to yourself, what am I feeling that's creating this, causing me to take these actions or not take these actions? And if you're feeling something that is creating something that you don't want, or creating something you don't want, then you want to think, what am I thinking that's creating my feelings? I know it's a lot of information, but this equation will change your life.
You know that the thing is we make things so much harder than they are. Like we get into the fear just because we've been there for so much of our
Mm-hmm.
life, because
Mm-hmm.
we've tried things and we think, I can't do this, like I can't do it attitude versus
Mm-hmm.
changing that up. But the thing is they're just thoughts, they're just feelings. They're not really who we are. They can be changed. They can be like that is where you're talking about from making things hard to making them simple.
Right.
Like take a deep breath, guys. You can change.
Yes, it is possible to change. And a lot of thoughts that we're thinking, they're just practice thoughts that we've been thinking all our lives, from things we've seen, things we've learned, things we picked up. Some of these thoughts, we don't even want to think it anymore, but it's just our brain is so amazing that it operates automatically. So there's some things that you need to change yourself, because the same thoughts that you had pre-surgery, it's the same thoughts that you're going to have post-surgery. And this is your job now. Your job is starting to dissect, what are you thinking that's creating the results in your life. And that's really mindset work. And it might seem daunting and exhausting, but I just want to offer you that this could be magical if you decide to think about it this way. Like, you are creating the life that you want to create. And all it takes is some investigation.
And the thing is it can be started at any time. Like it can
Anytime.
start right now. It can
Right
start right now.
now.
Right now.
Yes. All right. Should I move on to step number 2? Okay.
Everybody, let us know. You're ready for step 2. Say
Yes.
ready.
And listen, if you feel overwhelmed, it's okay. Your brain is just trying to register this information, and it might be trying to fight it too. Just let it sink in. It's okay.
That
So I'm
first
going
step, what would you
to.
say on that first step? Just question though, the first step, how long a period of time are you talking? I think it's ongoing myself, but would you say, like, just to begin today, like what's the first thought that comes up, right? What's the first thing?
Mhm.
That's probably the strongest.
Yes. What I do is I take a piece of paper and I just write everything that comes up. You could put on top my weight loss journey. Just write everything that comes up. And from there, you'll start seeing what you're thinking about your journey. Okay. I'll go to step number 2.
They're ready. Ready, ready.
Step number 2, become a detective of your journey. And this is where we are just getting straight up facts. We're going to see what happened, what was going on in your life. When did you regain? How much did you regain? When did you stop losing weight? Like, we're getting all the information in your life, no drama, no soap opera, because it's so important for you to do this, because our brain loves to jump to conclusions. And if you don't slow it down and really find out the facts of what happened, then you'll probably say something like, oh, the reason why I gained the weight is because I got lazy. And it's like, what does that mean? What does it mean that you got lazy, right? That's not what happened. Like, so this stuff is so important because we get to the details of what happened. So I'm gonna give you an example with my personal story. So I also, in my journey, I did regain weight, and it happened so suddenly I didn't even notice, but I regained 15 pounds. And what happened was that in 2022, I got promoted in my 9 to 5 job, and it was such a huge learning curve. And my whole schedule changed, my gym schedule, my meal prepping, it went all out the window. And I was using a lot of mental energy at that time. So I was eating out a lot. I was eating healthy out, but it still wasn't the plan that I had before. And I slowly gained 15 pounds. And then after that, I started studying for a promotional exam, and I started to emotional eat while I was studying. And this happened really slowly, but then one day I got on the scale. I'm like, oh snap, I gained 15 pounds, right? So what I just showed you right now was me doing the detective work on why we gain weight. It would have been so easy for me to tell you to be at that 15 pound and be like, well, I failed. I'm failing. Or I must not care no more about my journey. Or I'm not meant to lose any weight, right? Our brain will go there if you let it. You have to sit down and figure out, like, oh, wait, my life was a little chaotic. Like, so many amazing things was happening, but I never created a new routine for the new life that was happening. Things were happening too fast, and that's why I gained the 15 pounds. So what happened was when I did my detective work, then I created a plan for my new life. And it happened so quickly, right? Like life happens so quickly sometimes, and the detective work is more about slowing down so that you can keep moving forward.
I want to add here too, and I hope it's okay I share this. Mabel is actually a police officer, so she is a detective at heart. So this
Yes.
detective work is comes natural.
Yeah, so now I'm a sergeant because I got promoted. And that's when the chaos
In
started.
New York, in New York, like
Yeah,
what other state could you have the craziest job probably?
right. So I mean, it was stressful, and my work schedule was off the charts. I didn't know when I was gonna go home. And so my old schedule didn't work out. And one day I just got on a scale because I did notice like my clothes and my uniform. It was looking kind of crazy. And I'm like, I got on a scale. I'm like, oh snap, I gained 15 pounds. And if it wasn't for me like staying grounded and trying to figure out what happened, I could have easily told myself that I failed or I can't do this crazy job and lose weight. Or the reason why I gained weight was because of my job. And I didn't allow that didn't allow that to happen. And this is why I want to show you guys, like, just really investigate what's going on in your journey so that you don't think that you're not able to lose the weight. Even with a regain, even with a stall, it's completely human and normal that it happens. You're like this journey, you're not supposed to just keep losing weight. Sometimes you do gain weight, sometimes you do stall, and it's because life is happening. Our life isn't just about this weight loss journey. Our life is happening, right? People have kids, husbands, jobs, like things are happening. You are a human being and it's okay.
And I just want to kind of share too. I think I shared with her before we started the call. Like this last year has been a year for me to kind of get off my regain. I mean, many of you who've joined our podcast in the last year know because I've shared it several times. And for me, I had gained back about 35 pounds, and there I had been doing little things here and there, but like a concerted effort, like basically looking at so many different areas of my life, like looking, you start one place. So for me, it was maybe my medications, like looking at that, looking at going through menopause. So I was like looking at hormone replacement. I was like looking at my fitness levels. I work from home, and I knew that that had to be been a factor. So like how could I like adversely, how could I, do more physical activity? And so It is possible no matter how far out you are, because my journey started in 2013 as far as the weight loss surgery. And so I'm 11 years post-op. And guys, this last year I was able to take off that regain plus another 5 pounds. So you can do it no matter where you are. I'm just kind of saying that just because I want each of you to have that hope and to know no matter where you are in your journey.
I love that you shared that because it's something about our community that they believe like once you regain or once you're stalled, that's it. But no, guys, this is just life, right? This is just a beautiful puzzle, a beautiful equation. And a lot of that comes from being overweight all your life and always struggling to lose the weight. And those emotions resurface when you think you're failing or you think that something has gone wrong because you're thinking about the times where you were gaining weight and you didn't know what to do, but you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you have the knowledge now and that you've changed now enough that you can take steps forward and that you can go out there and get new information. Like we are living in the world full of information and all the information that you need, all the support that you need is out there. Like you have not failed. This is just a beautiful puzzle.
And someone on Facebook is asking step one. They joined, missed that, joined a little late. Step one is
Reflecting.
reflection.
Yes. Reflecting on how do you feel about this? Because it does have an effect on what actions you are taking, what actions you're not taking. I wanted to say something and I forgot. I got so excited. It's okay.
Oh,
Oh,
and
now,
Aunt
now I
just shared the
remember
same. Yes.
that even with the stalls and the regain, when it happens, you learn so much about yourself. So even if it does happen, like it is a moment for you to grow and learn and use those skill sets to continue to keep moving forward in your healthy journey. So it's never, I mean, we're saying failure, we're saying fail, but it actually isn't never a fail. Like you are always learning and growing as you're going. Like a setback. I guess we could say it's a setback, but you're still learning and evolving. I'm going to continue to step 3 if you have no questions for me. Okay.
Looks like we're good.
All right. So step 3 is create a plan. Now after we have reflected, now after we have gotten all the information that we needed, now and only now can we create a plan. When people start regaining and start stalling, they automatically want to create a plan. They want to find that perfect plan. But nobody's plan is ever going to look the same. Everybody's life is different. Things that are happening in people's lives are different. And you have to know that you can't follow just any plan. So the way you get the information that you need to create a plan is by doing step 1 and step 2. And what's so important about this is that if you do it in this way, you'll feel more grounded and you'll feel like you're moving forward. So many people jump to create a plan and it's just like, okay, I'm praying and I'm hoping that this works. But if you really take step 1 and step 2, and now you create a plan, then you're like, okay, I see what happened. So we're still moving forward. And it just feels different. Do not overcomplicate this. So many of us want to make this complicated. We want to start buying all the Tupperwares, start downloading all the meal preps, start doing all these crazy things. Don't overcomplicate this. Make it simple for your life. Make it customized for your life. The third one is do not look for a perfect plan. There isn't one. There's only the plan that works for you. Losing weight is not complicated. It really isn't. It's our minds that make it complicated. We already know that we already know the foods that are the healthiest to eat. And we know that we could sprinkle in the things that aren't as nutritious, right? Like it's not complicated. We know we need to move our bodies. What makes it complicated is us and our brain and the things that we're thinking. Allow yourself to be wrong and treat it like a puzzle. We want to be so perfect all the time, but that's not the way we learn. That's not the way we grow. We pretty much jump in the ocean and we figure it out as we go and know that you're safe and you're okay. Make a plan for your current life circumstance. If you are not a person who can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym, don't make that part of your plan, right? Like some people try to force themselves to be somebody that they're not. If you know that you have a certain time that you could go to the gym, then just make it a part of your plan. Don't try to follow anybody else's plan. And really ask yourself, what support do you need? What is some information that you don't have? Who has it? What book has it? Where can I find this information? And from there, create a plan.
I want to say too, Mabel, I had heard something recently about failing, and it was on a podcast, and they were talking about like Google employees, their CEO, they want their employees when they're making plans to fail 50% of the time. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I think that's amazing because like you can't ever do big things. You can't have these big dreams and then be afraid of failing without trying something because
Mhm.
sometimes things are going to look a different way. And another thing is this create a plan being just for you. I think it's so important because so many times, like I've been on forums, like for example, Facebook groups on weight loss, and people will get on there and say, I've just gained, I've had some weight regain. What do I do? And so you're going to get 20 different answers. And the thing is like what works for one person on this call may not be the same thing that works for somebody else. It's just kind of like the person that goes on and posts something about the latest and greatest bad diet, for example. I'm not saying those things are bad because sometimes they do work for people, but is that going to work for you? Is that the thing that you need? It's not just a one shop fix it all kind of thing. It has to be what works for you.
Exactly. I love that. And just, I think one of the things that has really helped me in my journey is just being okay with like the journey being messy. Like it's supposed to be messy. You're supposed to be learning and evolving and growing. Just because we had this weight loss surgery, it didn't change anything. We still have to fix what got us overweight to begin with. So it is going to look messy and it's not going to look like anybody else's plan because we all have different, I call it weight loss surgery curriculum. We all have something different that we need to work on. Some people have to work on confidence. Some people have to work on believing in themselves. Some people have to work on being organized in their life and setting boundaries. There's so many elements to this. And this is just your beautiful journey as you figure out and keep evolving.
There is a question from Veronica. She says, been stuck for 18 months. How do I remember what happened back then? Up 30 pounds now. I did have a medical issue this summer. So
Okay. I find, see, if you sit down and really start thinking, you will come up with answers. So the first thing that you just said was you had medical issues this summer. And that's the first step. That's your brain giving you the easiest answer. If you give yourself 5 to 10 minutes and start thinking what was going on in your life, the answers will come up. Our brains does not like to spend more energy that they need to spend. This is just like studying, right? Like when you have to study and read stuff that you don't want to read, it's going to hurt. But if you sit down, I bet you will come up with more answers as to what was going on during that time. So I want to challenge you to do that. But again, you've already found one thing. You had a medical issue this summer.
So the other question is what would be her first steps once she does figure that out? So that's where you're saying take the issues, like say it was a medical issue, break that down. Was it that the medication itself was one of the side effects was maybe like if it was a medicine, was it side effect was weight gain, or maybe that it caused you not to walk so you weren't as physically active? So is there a way to get more physically active? Is that what you're saying? Like take those things, break it down, find out what the causes were, maybe look back. I love that Anne said maybe look back at your calendar. That always helps me too. That's
Yes,
something that's very helpful.
yes. Even pictures. Like look at your photo album.
Oh, like
Yeah,
who were
like what
you
was
around? Where were you? What were you doing kind of thing?
right. And what I want you to do when you find out what was going on in your life, just ask yourself, like, why was this stopping me from continuing on my journey? Some things are just life things, right? Some things, there's nothing we could have done about it. But what we want to use with that information is knowing that it has nothing to do with us and our ability to lose weight. It was our human life. And that will make you feel so much better than you thinking that you did something wrong. So some things are just not, like people passing away, relationship issues. Like there's some things that there's nothing you could have done about it. But I just want you to take that information to know that life was just lifing. And now you're just gonna move forward. Like what were you doing before? How can you bring it back in your life? What was working before and what can you bring back in your life?
So in other words, maybe make two columns. What was out of your control? Like maybe your father or your mother passed away or friend. What was in your control? How you felt about it and how you reacted to it, kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe.
And what did you stop doing during that time? And what can you start doing now to keep going on in your journey?
So, Mabel, when you're talking about creating a plan, when you say do not overcomplicate, are you talking about like to me, whenever I create a plan, sometimes it's like really, really small baby steps. For example, like maybe in the beginning, you know that you need to get more physically active, but you just don't even know where to begin. So maybe one of the steps might be just researching it. That might be a baby step, like researching what might work, looking at your schedule, and like that's a baby step. Like when could I fit in to be more active is like realistically, could it be in the morning or could it be in the evening? Could you give some examples of that?
Yeah, so not making it complicated just means that we just want to know what you're going to be eating for the week and how will you be active. Minimum baseline, if you can't find yourself to get to the gym, how would you get more steps in? How can your life just be more active? Can you park a little farther away when you go to the store? Can you walk up the steps, right? Like how can you be more active in your life and what are you choosing to eat for the week? And if the week is too long for you, let's do 2 days at a time or 3 days at a time. But don't overwhelm yourself.
And Susie's mentions, I love this too. If you make a mistake, it's a learning experience, not a fail. Regroup your thoughts, get back on track, watch the negative talk. And the thing is sometimes for many of us, and I don't know, Mabel, if you've went through this, but we've heard this word over and over. So I feel like it's a little reused, but all or nothing. So like for me, working out, for example, whenever I first started wanting to get back into that, I was like, okay, how many days do I want to go? Realistically, 4 days usually is what works for me. Some people do 6 or 7, but realistically, 4 days would be a good start for me. And like, what times would I do that? Now, this last week, my trainer she was not feeling well. So we skipped one of the days. And I had a choice whether I went or didn't go, and I ended up not going. So, like, instead of feeling bad about that, like I could still do more if I want to do more. It's not like, okay, all or nothing. Like, if I didn't do 4 days a week, I'm a failure. Or like even for a day, like when you put yourself in the middle of a day, this morning, if I didn't do anything, could I still fit time in this evening? Like
Mhm.
if you have a normal plan and that plan doesn't go as you thought, can you readjust and pivot? Like suggestions on that, because I think failure to me is one of those biggest stopping points. It kind of stops us in our tracks and things makes us think we that can't do attitude kind of thing.
Right. And that goes more into step number 4, which is implementing the plan. So I'll just flip that since we started talking about that now.
Yeah.
So creating the plan versus implementing the plan is completely different. And implementing the plan requires energy. It requires you to take steps forward and being okay with it being messy. And that's what you were talking about, Brenda, like just moving forward, figuring things out and being okay with like it being messy. What I tell my clients and what I do for myself too when I'm trying to implement a new plan in my life, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I look at the non-scale victories, the non-scale results of what's going on with the plan. And in 1 month, I start looking at the scale. So when you create a plan, you don't automatically start looking at the scale every week, every day. I mean, if you want to, but just don't make it mean anything for a month because a month will tell you whether something is working or not. And with the non-scale, the non-scale will be like the habits that you're creating, how you feel about the plan, how your life is looking with the new plan. That I will use like a 2-week evaluation to see if it was working or not. And knowing that is normal, that it feels hard.
You know, one thing I'm going to ask a question. For me, like one of the things that I've found really helpful, like what I've been implementing is kind of going into evaluation too, is like actually writing it down either on a calendar or a journal or a notebook on what I have done. Like, for example, working out, fitness. My first probably 2 or 3 months, I kept a calendar on the days that I actually went, what I did, how I did it, that type of thing. Because what I was finding is it helped me know if I was hitting the mark. Because sometimes our memories are kind of like short. You don't
Mhm.
always, or like if your goal is like drinking water, how much water are you drinking each day? Are you hitting that mark? Are you way off? Can you readjust your goal? Or maybe it's protein, like how much protein are you eating? Are you hitting your mark? Are you way off? So that you can kind of know what you're able to do and what's realistic, and then continuously like the reevaluate, I know is the next step. So it kind of plays into that, like the implementation of what you're doing to be able to finally go back and reevaluate, because how can you reevaluate unless you really know if you've been implementing everything that you set out to do? Because it's easier
Mhm.
just to put it on paper and say, this is what I'm going to do, right?
Right.
It's the action steps.
Mhm. Yes. And this step is hard. I'm not going to lie. This step is hard. And it might feel like it's going to take a lot of your energy because you do have to make note of what you're doing. But if you start doing it, the more you do it, the more routine it becomes and the easier it becomes for you. So the first few days, it will feel hard because you're writing things down, but it's so important to know because, like Veronica, right? For example, she asked, like, I've been stuck for 18 months, and it's like she can't remember, right? Because that's what our brain does. So this is why it's so important to document these things so you know what is working, what is not, so you keep moving forward.
And one other thing too is like the whole not focusing on the scale. The thing is you may not see when we're talking about our memory, and this has been for me the last year of losing that weight. Guys, there were some weeks that I might gain a pound back. There's some weeks and I was still doing some of the same things. There was some weeks that I might lose 2 pounds, and I might go like a month and not lose anything. And so over time, I would know, okay, I'm going to tweak this or do this. So that monthly check in, I think, is really helpful to know. Like, if you're not writing this down, a pound may not seem like anything, like, but you know, like what momentum you're going. Are you kind of going forward or backwards? But it's not just about a one-time thing. Like if you were on a month-to-month basis, if you're reevaluating, you kind of know the trend as opposed to it just being every day. Because sometimes if we, it's hard to remember unless we're kind of like writing this down or having something to compare it to where we've been.
Yes, 100% agree. And also, it shows you why you've gained or stalled. So I gained weight because I started building muscle, right? So my body was changing, but I was building muscle. So in this, if I looked at the scale, I would have freaked out, but I was lifting weights. So this is why it's so important to track things down. Like, what actions are you taking? Because it shows you why you're getting the results that you're getting. It's not only because you have failed, there are other reasons why. Like so you can't listen to your brain's automatic reaction to like things not going your way. There's facts that you need to look at.
So if you are exercising, maybe some other ways to do that might be doing like some body composition to see if your muscle is increasing. And I know there's calculators out there, or you may want to take pictures because when you're building muscle, your body composition can completely change. So that's another way. Or um, like what is your energy, like some other things that go along that, your energy levels, your like what other ways can you measure? So maybe you have different ways of measuring. Is that what you're saying there?
Yes. So your habits is the new plan. Is it easy for you to sustain? Like in the 2 weeks, like you're looking at yourself, is this easy for you? Is this plan working for your life? How do you feel? Do you feel like you're like is it aligned with who you are? Do you like it? Because then you could just change the plan, right? So those are the things that I'm talking about, like the things that are not just in the scale, how you feel, um, if it's hard for you to like do the plan, does it really align with who you are? Things like that. Okay. I'm going to go to step number 5 because I think we're ready. So the last step is we evaluate. And the reason why this is so important is what we just talked about. You have to know, like, you have to sit down and tell yourself, like, is this working out? Is it not? What's going on in my journey? Because if you don't do this, then you will start freaking out if the scale is going up or down, going in the direction you don't want it to go. And this just gives you straight facts. It keeps you grounded. So things I've written is do it even if your brain freaks out. Start evaluating the plan that you created and just write down the facts. If you love the results, you go back to step 4 and you keep implementing it. And if you don't love the results that you got in the evaluation, then you go back to step 2 and you start becoming a detective. And you start dissecting like what is working, what isn't working, so that you could create a new plan. This is all part of your transformational journey, and this is all normal. The problem is that if you don't sit down and think about it in this way, then you'll feel scattered in your journey. You feel like it's like your journey is just happening to you. But you are what's happening to your journey if you are doing it in a certain way. Just looking at the chat to see if anybody wrote anything.
Mabel, can you share? I know we're kind of getting closer on time. Can you share? I know you do this with clients, and we're going to be sharing a way to work one-on-one with Mabel, because she does work with clients to help get results. So, can you walk us through a process of like if somebody was to contact you, what that might look like, what you would do with them, and how that'd look? Also, Marguerite says, so we are in control. She's asking a
Yes.
question.
Yes, we are always in control. And this is why I created these steps to show you that you're always in control. You just have to investigate what what happened that got you the results that you got. So working with me, you just book a consultation call, and in that call, I'll hear everything that's going on in your journey. And from there, I'll tell you exactly how I can help you. And we do weekly calls and 24/7 access to for anything that you need. And I teach you everything that you need so that you can actually lose the weight. Everybody's different. Everybody's going through a different curriculum. So it depends on the person and their issues that I'll create a plan for them and help them develop habits, help them stop doing the things that they're doing that's hindering them from achieving their goals.
So Mabel, I'm going to be showing them, I'm going to click on here to show them what they can do as far as scheduling a call. I have the link here. Is
Yes.
it
Oh,
like
no,
a
just looking to-
discovery call or tell us? It's a consultation, correct? Just to
Yes.
see if it's right, the fit is right to work with each other, correct?
Mm-hmm. It's just a free call. We chat and you get to decide if I'm your perfect coach and if you like my plan, and then we start working together.
And I'm going to put you are known on Instagram and TikTok as at Beyond the Sleeve Academy. That is
Mm-hmm.
your way to get a hold of Mabel. And so I'm going to paste that on there. Let me just see if anybody has any questions about anything.
It was a lot of information, guys. I understand this. And it's okay. It's definitely okay. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I will love to help you. But yes, this was a lot of information. But if you follow these steps, I promise you that you will lose the weight or get out the stall, whatever your issue is.
I was posting that on Facebook. That's why it took me a second
No,
there.
no, no. It's okay. It's okay. Do your thing.
Um, so closing thoughts.
Yes.
Closing thoughts, like summary for everyone.
The summary that I could give you is it's giving me okay. Veronica says giving me a lot to look into. Yes. The summary is that you are a human living your human life. Weight loss is not the main thing going on. There's a million things going on in your life. And stalls and regain is completely normal because sometimes it's hard for us to stay consistent because life is always lifing. And what's important is for you to be able to stop, be able to be aware enough to like know when you're going in the direction you don't want to go. And that's how you continue to lose weight. But it's okay that you stall, it's okay that you regain. You can lose it at any time. Like Brenda, you have lost it after 11 years, right? I lost it 4 years into my journey. It's okay. Your body is meant to lose the weight. As easy as it was to gain the weight, your body is meant to lose the weight too. It's just learning why you regain the weight and just working on that. Yeah, Stacy, I'm excited for you to try it too. Oh,
So, oh, go ahead.
sorry, there's one more thing I wanted to add. So if you join my email list by hitting my Instagram link and you join my email list, you automatically get like the training. Like I do the training again. So if you want to see the training, just join my email list. And on that first email, the welcome email, I give you a gift, which is a webinar of the training too.
I'm going to copy that and put it in the chat box too, as well,
Yes.
the link.
Because I know this is a lot of information and sometimes we just have to like rewind and take it step by step. I'm a visual learner, so I will have to look at what I'm learning. So I totally get it.
The other thing, Mabel, I have, and the first one was assess, number 2, be a detective, 3, set a plan, 4, implement, and then 5, evaluate. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm pasting in in case anybody wants to copy that and put it into motion. I will put this in to the forum.
This was so good. I appreciate you for having me.
This is actually probably the second or third time that you've joined us, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? I think we've done other events, and I'm going to kind of show them how to actually be able to rewatch those too, because you have quite a few good episodes coming up. I mean, that have passed and that we've done together too as well. So
Yes.
I'll paste this information into Facebook in a second. I'm just having some technical things going on with my computer. It's not wanting to paste for some reason. It's kind of being a little bit slow and crazy, but I will
It
get those
always
there.
finds the right time to do stuff, right?
Yes, I know. I will definitely be doing that. Is it okay if I do a shout out to our sponsor and also how they
Girl,
can
do your
find
thing.
more episodes for you too as well?
Yes.
So yes. So you guys, our sponsor is ProCare Health, which is a vitamin supplement company. If you've been with us for any amount of time, you've got to be a part of that amazing company and know that they are very community based, very heart centered, and have been part of what I've loved in being a part of this community. So it's procarenow.com is the website. And when you get to the ProCare Health website, what you're going to see is some little bars. We've been changing things around here at the top. So under this tab that's now called Body and Soul Resources, Berry Connected is now located under that. So that's where you'll find any kind of upcoming event that we have, including this event. So if you want to come back, I always think episodes like this are really helpful to go back and listen to a second time. Like if you didn't have paper and pen, if you were kind of being distracted, which I'm guilty of. I listen to podcasts all the time, and I'm usually busy doing a lot of other things, maybe getting ready in the morning or folding clothes or driving. And so if you want to come back, um, this episode, it's kind of being, again, it's being a little funny. Right here on this page, 5 simple steps to get back on track if you're experiencing weight gain or stall. You can find the episode there. It lives on demand until the end of the month. And then we actually have another support group coming up this month. It's Boundaries. Our page has kind of changed the font. That's going to be being updated. It's just a little wonky here right now. And then down here at the bottom, if you're wanting to also find us on YouTube, I'll show you how to do that. It's ProCare Health's YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook community to connect to after these events. So if you want to find like-minded people and connect on these topics or anything else, you can always do that there. We have a page and a group, so you can join both of those. And then we also have a podcast. So all of these are listed. All these events are also placed not only on our YouTube channel, but on all major podcast stations under the topic Berry Connected. So our YouTube channel, when we go there, have that pulled up. And what I'm going to do is just kind of show you how to find episodes that were prior to this episode. If you go to There should be a button on here that says subscribe. Subscribe so that you can kind of get notifications when new episodes are added. And then here to the side of that, if you type in Mabel Joseph, should be able to see some of the ones you've done before. So the 3 phases of habit creation, that one we did about a year ago. And then we did 3 reasons why it's hard to follow your eating plan. And that was 2 years ago. So feel free to kind of check those out, go back in and subscribe. And then also um, listen to some of these older ones that Maple has helped us with. So thank you so much for that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. And I think I have. Did I paste what I meant to paste here? Yeah, I didn't paste it in Facebook yet, so I'm gonna go back and do that. But thank you guys, everyone. Thank you for joining us, being on this call with us. We appreciate each of you because you're taking time out for yourselves, and it's a ripple effect. I always think that the biggest ripple that we can have is on the community, that not only the people that are here in this call, but also those people in your families. Like, go out there, be the best version of yourself. And what's going to happen is it's going to affect your children, your spouse or your significant other, your coworkers. It's going to affect all of those. So I would say too, though, these tools that you gave us today, Mabel, does not only apply to weight loss, it applies to other things as well. It can apply to your finances, your relationships, your health in other ways. So, like, look at those things that are the most important right now to you. Sometimes it's hard to tackle 20 different things if we have a lot going on in our life and we have some imbalances going on. But like, evaluate the number ones right now, see what you can do to make that. So thank you for all these pointers.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. You could do this. Believe in yourself.
That's the best part of it. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself today. And when you believe in yourself, other people will actually see that and they'll believe in you too. And it gives them insights to start believing in themselves as well. So thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.